to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be teaching you a technique called Joseph's Coat. In order to make this card, we're going to be using these inks here. You can use any dye inks for this technique, but I've chosen distress inks. I have chipped sapphire, salty ocean, twisted citron, picked raspberry, and wilted violet. You also need blending tools. You can use the Ranger blending tools, which I have here, or you can use the blending brushes. I have these blending brushes from Tailored Expressions, but they're just about most of the stamping companies have blending brushes out at this point. You also need Versamark or any watermark stamp embossing ink, and Versafine or any black ink. The stamp set I'm using today is called Decorative Doilies. Yeah, Decorative Doilies, and this is by Fiskars. I'm also going to be using a Stampin' Up stamp set called Sunshine and Rainbows. I'm using a standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5, a piece of white cardstock, 5.5 by 4.25, and a pink piece of cardstock, 4 by 5.25, and a strip of pink cardstock. Okay, I've already mounted all of my stamps that I'm going to need, and in addition to the stamps, you're going to need clear embossing powder. Okay, let me get started with the technique. I brought in a piece of copy paper to protect my work surface. We're going to start off with ink blending. So you just take the colors and lay them on in a random pattern on the white cardstock. It doesn't matter about the blending, you just need to get a full coverage of colors everywhere. And just make it look as random as you can. That's better than being too precise. Okay, that's the first step. As you see, I have made sure that there is no white showing, and I just have the colors willy-nilly all over the place. Now we need this to dry before we can do the next step. If you want to, you can take your heat tool and speed up the process, which is what I'm going to do. Okay. Now you need an embossing buddy. Go over the whole cardstock, making sure you don't miss any parts. And now taking the Versamark, you're just going to start stamping the medallions all over. You won't be able to see it on camera, but I can see it. So I'm going to start out in the center and work around the whole page. If you thought that you were not sure where you were stamping, at this point you could stop and put the clear embossing powder on it. So now I see I still have a few areas which I haven't touched yet. So let me pick those up too. It's good to go off the paper when you do this because it makes it look more realistic. Okay, I think that's enough, and I'm going to use my heat tool and heat this part up. Okay, you can see some of them if I turn it a little bit, but it's a lot easier to see in close up in real life. Now I'm going to switch to the smaller medallion and fill in some of these areas. Okay. I think I touched my thumb in that part. And knock off the extra. Okay. Heat this last part up. Okay, I think I've got good coverage. It doesn't look like much now, but this is where the technique really shines. So let me make sure I don't have any embossing powder there. And now I'll bring in the chip sapphire and start blending. And you just go over the whole thing. And as you go, you will see the medallion start to come out. So now you can see them. I had a little bit of powder here which I could have knocked off, so that has a little blemish on it, but I'm going to have to live with that because it's down. Okay, now the next step, you need to take a paper towel. Let me get a paper towel here, and I've done this a couple times, so my paper towel is not very clean. and wipe over all of the embossed areas because the ink will be sitting on top. And that ink is still wet, and you'll get it all over your fingers and everything. And the colors pop out once you get the ink off the top. And there you have it, Joseph's coat technique. You could also, instead of using the chipped sapphire, you can use any color. You could use black or brown or even one of the colors that you've used in here. This card is a little bit feminine with all this pink in it, but of course if you wanted to make a masculine version, just don't add the pink. Use other colors. So let me go ahead and finish putting the card together. And there's the finished card. The technique is very easy and the results can be really stunning, and you have a lot of options that you can use. You could use distress oxides with this also, but you just would have to allow a little bit more time to let the ink dry before you went to the next step. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this useful and you will try this technique yourself. I picked up on this by watching Gina K Designs, and I'll link to her channel down below. And I will also link all the materials that I use down below so that you can follow along and create this card yourself. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great and fantastic day. Take care.